From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth. It's Campo's Corner Time with Coach Dave Campo, and brought to you by our good friends at All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. We're at the bar, of course, at Tommy Max. And our pal Joe Cowart is here from 1010XL Sports Radio, XL Prime Time, and we'll also get into our favorite topic, the Jaguars, as we all were out there watching them at minicamp. Let's welcome in the panel. Joe C., how are you, my brother?
Good, man.
Good to see you. Welcome back.
As always.
Hey, Coach Campo, welcome back, my man.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so, Joe, we've been out there, OTAs, when they let us out, media. Been out there for minicamp. I've covered the team throughout the offseason, from all the free agents to the draft to on-the-field stuff. You got about 5-week break before training camp. How do you feel about your Jaguars going in?
It's funny because I wanted to see the new faces, and we've talked about this collectively, that the bottom half of the roster has been turned over quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're trying to find new guys that will be impact players and then rise up that depth chart. And I don't know exactly what a Jack Kaiser will become or a Bashal Tootin in the run game, but there's new energy, new blood, and then the guys that are at the top that we all know about, the Josh Hines Allens, the Trevor Lawrences of the world, they got to come through. They got to be better. Yeah,
absolutely. Coach, how do you feel going into this?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see as much as I would have liked. I'm really excited about training camp because I think you see a little bit more. You see more with the pads on. I think that's the key. I think I came out with the one practice that I actually saw two practices, one in the mini camp. I'm still a little concerned with the offensive line, but at the same time, without pads, you really can't tell exactly what's going on.
That's my question. From a coaching standpoint, because I'm watching, it was more yesterday and the day before. The defense, they disrupted a lot in the backfield. They would have had a lot of sacks. QBs threw a lot of picks. Wouldn't you agree, Joe? The D-line kind of dominated.
Defense won.
But how do you keep that in perspective as a coach? Because you're not in pads. The linemen aren't driving to the ground. They might be letting you go after a couple steps or what have you. But as a coach, fans are out there because they're going to hear, the defense dominated, the offense didn't look good, yada, yada. How do you keep it in perspective?
Well, as a head coach, you'd like to see some balance. You'd like to see, one day the defense dominates, the next day the offense dominates. You'd like to see that. But at the same time, you have to really look at how guys are improving their footwork. When you look at a DB, is he coming out of his breaks? When you look at an offensive lineman, are they setting properly and all those kind of things? And I don't know that you can tell. If you've got a big defensive end like Walker, for example, and you're a tackle, if you don't have the pads on and you can't strike and really sit down, you got a problem. And so, you have to keep that in perspective. And that's why I don't think until we really see these new guys in the offensive line that we're going to be able to say, hey, they've improved here or there.
Well, and you also got to keep in perspective when the QBs do hit those long throws when they look great. He might have been already hit.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. You just don't know. So you do have to keep that in perspective. I know as a former player, if I'm on the Jaguars defense, I feel good about where I'm at. Now the question is, how good is the O-line we're going against? We don't know that yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Joe feels the same way here. When you look at a guy, what you're trying to find out there are who are the athletes mentally that can handle what's going on, because they're throwing a lot at these guys. And if like I heard Campanile say today that Murray, for example,
the safety,
he's not a great player, but he's a communicator and he understands the big picture. And if you find a guy like that, that's going to be a factor for sure.
Take two guys, Eric Murray and Jordan Lewis. Both of those guys are veterans in that secondary. And then you could add Tyson Campbell into this, but I'm talking about the two free agents that can come in and lend some expertise.
For sure.
So that has to be better. That back end has to be much better.
I thought Tyson has looked good this offseason. He's got to just stay healthy, knock on wood. He looks really good. You know, here's the great thing about this process, right? Because then the pads come on, and the guys that were shooting gaps and making all these plays, some of them disappear. Yeah. Like, they're like, wait a minute, where did it? Exactly. And I know as a coach, you're like, okay, write that down. I know number one. He was doing great in these OTAs, running around, guys, but then the pads came on, and he didn't show up. And that's when you figure it out. And for the record, that's just the next step in the process, because then it's like, okay, we're going against our own guys. Now let's go against somebody else. And then it's practice, and then it's preseason, and then, you know, like, it's kind of. I think it's really hard in today's game. I really do. I mean this with the amount of lack of time that you have out there, with the amount of prep that you're trying to fit in. It's hard to figure out who your team is. There's no way after mini camp's over that they know who their guys are. Correct. They know who maybe 40 to 45 are, but they don't know all 58 or whatever they're going to carry. There's no way.
I feel like they're pushing a few guys that are already in starters roles. I'll use Anton Harrison as an example. Yes. And Liam Cohen said it yesterday. He can go when he wants to go.
When he wants to go.
That's pushing a button right there.
That's not intangibly rich. No. That's not loving football.
And that's why Edoga.
I mean, challenge.
That's why Edoga, and he's alternating with Harrison. And I'm going to tell you, I was with Edoga at USC. Yeah. I guarantee you he is intangibly rich. Yeah. So he may not be a great player, but he's going to push that kid, and hopefully that kid figures it out.
I like how the coach is calling it out.
Yep.
And the other thing,
not afraid to call it out.
Yeah, real quick. Even though the offense has not done well against the defense necessarily, he said, I want them to get the play in on time.
Right.
They may not be successful right now, but we need to get that
you
part
can
of
run it.
Yeah.
He even said with the quarterbacks, he's like, they don't have to be like always on the money. Right. I want to see that they're running the show and they can do it comfortably. All right. Yesterday, I know you weren't there yesterday, Coach, but the quarterbacks, including Trevor, were late. It's like their throws were late. It's like the guy's open.
Yeah, I was there yesterday.
Oh, you were there yesterday. That's right. You were there. I'm sorry, Coach. You were there yesterday. It happened day one, too. Yeah. They were just a little bit late, and defenders are making plays.
Right.
And when you're late to the throw, you give that defender a chance. Now, here's the question. It's a new system. They're working on timing. So is it some of that where there's hesitation because you're not really that sure? Because for me, and I don't want to get too deep because maybe it's too deep for this part of the process, but Trevor seems to throw when they get open. He doesn't throw them open. Yes. There's a difference, right? You're thrown to a point. Receivers got to be at the point at the right time. You're not throwing to the player, but he seems to throw to the player more than to the point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think one of the things you look at is are the receivers getting where they need to be at the right time.
Fair
if they're not there, the quarterback has to hesitate. So, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Coach. You're right.
That's going to come with a new system.
Okay.
You got plenty of time in training camp to get that right. I think the biggest thing is what Joe said about making sure that Trevor understands he said this now. He said this. He came out and said, I've got all the answers now.
Right.
Okay. Well, if he has all the answers, then it comes down to him.
Don't be late on the throw.
You want to make sure he has the ability to have all the answers. That's the key.
So get that play out quick, and then when you run the play, make quick decisions. And make an accurate throw.
Right.
All those things.
Yeah. And it starts with the footwork, like they're saying.
Yeah.
And I like that Liam has done that as well. Look, it's an exciting time. I don't want everyone to watch the show like, oh man, these guys are being really tough. It's exciting, but there are legitimate questions going into camp. Now, they can be answered during camp. I really want to see what kind of camp Liam runs.
Yeah.
To me, it better. I hope it's physical, and I hope they condition.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're not conditioning.
Yeah.
I just think it's a mental thing. It gives you a little bit more grit, a little mental toughness when you know you got to run gassers at the end of practice because it sucks.
I know one thing that they're doing. And we did it some back in the day. We told guys, look, if you're running full speed to every drill and you're going full speed, you're conditioning yourself.
Right.
Now, again, you have to condition as well. But if you can work yourself into condition if you're attacking it the way you're supposed to.
Although you go 3 plays and you're
then
done.
you're out of there, right?
And then you wait 6 plays,
Right,
and then you go 3 plays and you're done.
Right.
Unless you
I'm
go 2
agreeing
minutes.
with you, by the way.
So I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying kill them, but I would do more just for the mental toughness.
And we'll see it in training camp if they do that at the end of practices. One little wrinkle, though, at the last day, last little bit of team practice, Travis Hunter played offense and defense today.
Yes.
Okay? Offense and defense. And Coach Cohen said afterwards, he's got to get used to that because we are going to do that in training camp.
Cool.
That's a good sign.
Can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
all right, fellas, great job, man. Always a pleasure. Talking Jags. You'll see more Joe C. You'll see more Coach Campo and myself and other friends talking at the bar and talking about our Jags and our favorite sport in the whole wide world, right, fellas? Football. That's what it is. Football's life. Football's everything, and we love it. No question about it. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay safe and stay cool out there. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth. Cheers.
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 My name is Todd Marshall, and I own All Dry Services of Southeast Jacksonville. We serve all of Northeast Florida. Every day our business is doing the more mundane, but yet sometimes catastrophic issues. These can be plumbing leaks, they can be sewage backups. A bathtub overflows, somebody leaves the sink running. So we have a 24/7 response. If you call us, you're going to get a live person, and you try to get